What up, what up? It's your boy Vigo Sachi. This is the Investor Show, and you're checking in with the investor genius, Prince Dykes. Let's get it.
You're now tuned in to the Investor Show, where we teach simple wealth creation for the common investors. With investment advisor, award-winning author, international speaker, and founder of Royal Financial Investment Group, Prince Dykes.
Once again, guys, this is the Investor Show. As always, this is your host, Prince Dykes, come all the way live from the beautiful state of Hawaii, right here in Honolulu. On this, as you guys can see, I don't know what the title is going to be or the description or anything like this, but it's something I'm starting. I'm getting real natural callers to call in, tell me their issues, and the reason why I started this is because people, I notice I get a lot of inboxes, I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of comments, but a lot of the questions are kind of the same. So I said, hey, that's why I like to answer my emails live. That's why I like to bring people on and talk live, because someone else out there, maybe it may not be today, tomorrow, next year, they got the same exact situation. So when they can hear someone talk about this, they could, hopefully it may be beneficial to them as well. But as always, like I always say, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So today, I have a live call on the line, calling all the way from the Bay Area in California. Glad to see we got reach out there from California. Last week it was Houston, Texas. Today we got the Bay in the house in Oakland, California. Thank you guys for the tremendous support. He sent me I saw a comment. I can't remember what video it was on. It was one of the videos. He made a comment. He said, hey, I just had a son, 6 months old. I'm looking to invest with him. What would you do? What would be your recommendations and stuff like that? First of all, I'm honored when anybody drops a comment. I'm honored by every viewer, and I'm most definitely honored to see someone get interested in something that's boring, is investing, and want to do it for the child. That's what it's all about, That's really changing the world. But anyway, I know you guys don't want to hear my voice all day. Got the special caller on the line. Mr. Keith Reynolds, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm saying your name right? Keith Reynolds?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
All right, okay. Because I don't butcher a lot of names on air, and people are like, man, that's not even my name. I'm like, I'm from Georgia originally, man.
I'm from the same way,
the best. So anyway, definitely, how did you find out about me?
Oh man, actually, I feel like 2 years ago. I went to college and, I started making a little more money, and then I kind of found, I'm like, man, I want to retire one day. I'm like, I need to start figuring out what I'm going to do with my pay, and then I remember I read this article that said most Americans make like $50,000 per household. And I'm sitting there like, man, I make like double that myself. I need to start, doing something with that, and I started looking on the internet. And the first thing, I opened a TD Ameritrade account and I looked up how to buy a share of stock. And then you had a video. And then I just started looking through videos, man. And I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at your videos. I looked at Dr. Boyce Walker videos and stuff too. I appreciate your videos because they're very specific in how to do things. Like, I'm a science guy. So when someone just showed me exactly what I need, this is what you're supposed to do, I appreciate that a lot. So I tend to watch your video, every video you pretty much post. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely appreciate and then the reason why I make the videos like that is because if you're just trying to figure out how to open up your TD Ameritrade account, I don't want to hear about all this other stuff, man. Just get to the point,
Exactly.
That's why what doing my trademark is I don't have a lot of time. I definitely know you guys don't, because you click on this video, you're like, I just want to know how to buy this stock or how to sell it. I just want this tutorial. If somebody want to hear a long, dragged out conversation, they can check out the podcast, or they can check out an interview or any other one of my lives or something like that. So I'm glad that my videos are helping you out and helping people out and stuff like that. I just seen your name pop up a lot. here, there, and I was just like, man, I gotta do something for a kid. And you know what? I gave away a book one time, and I think you were supposed to be the winner,
Uh,
and it was like, but your name, I was on live, but when I got off the live, your name didn't carry over.
oh, okay.
It didn't show up in the comments box. So,
Oh,
and then of course, somebody else jumped in there, and I'm kind of like, well, I swear I saw where did his name go? I thought I saw his
yeah,
name on there.
I'll probably be. I'm on every time you're on live or something. I'm listening, man. Even if I'm in my work truck, I just kind of listen to it through the speakers, and you get some good
Definitely,
knowledge, man. I really appreciate it too.
definitely. Have you ever checked out the podcast?
Yeah, I checked out the podcast. I
Okay.
think the last one I didn't watch. The very last one I haven't seen that one yet, but I checked
Okay.
out the others. Yes. Uh-huh.
All right,
I,
definitely,
I
definitely.
did look at the low income caller. That was a good one. That was really good.
Oh, you liked that one?
Yeah, that was good, man. I
Yeah,
think he
that one
gave him
got.
some good advice.
Yeah, that one was a good. But those are real. Like people like you. You're a real person.
Mm-hmm.
People would make the comment like, "Man, your podcast. I've been rocking with you from the beginning, and you go in Hollywood. You got all these different, different type of people, and you going here and going there." But at the end of the day, I know it wasn't those people that makes the show. What makes the show are people like you, right?
Oh,
You got
definitely.
questions and you got issues, and I always want to keep that grassroots uh mentality, right? 'Cause that's where I
Mm-hmm.
come from. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the Berkshires and all these other people that made this show what it was. If it weren't for guys like you, I never would have made it to Berkshire, right? Or to
Oh,
Buffett and to
definitely.
stuff like that. So, but anyway, I know we're getting a little bit off topic a little bit, but tell us, what are you calling about?
I'm calling because, like you said earlier, I just had a son. He just turned 7 months yesterday, and I want
Congratulations.
to. Thank you. And I created a savings account for him, and I was kind of deciding what should I do with that money. And I know I want to invest it, and so I'm
Mhm.
basically right now I want to open a TD Ameritrade account and start investing. The first thing
Mhm.
I don't know what should I do the 457 or the 529 I think it is
529
investing account, or should I just do a strict just custodial
brokerage.
based account,
Okay.
yeah, brokerage account, and I just invest in myself, and then on top of that, something that kind of parlays off of that, should I kind of focus on ETFs or should I focus on mutual funds? I mean, this is an account he's going to have for like 18 to 20 years without being touched at all. So,
Okay.
I don't know what strategy would be best. Like I said, I'm more of a, I'm not really too of a risky guy. So, with
Okay.
that being said, I don't know which way to go.
All right, so from hearing you speak on that, right? Everybody who listens to me knows how my step process go. So first off, yeah, congratulations on your son. What's his name?
His name is Keith as well. So Keith Herbert Reynolds III.
Oh, Keith. Okay, all right, the third in the house. All right, nothing wrong with that. But
Oh, yeah.
one of the things that you said, you have you have a 7-month-old son. So now I'm automatically going to assume that you are a long-term investor. You want to put money to the side that you are going to, uh, money to the side that you can use over a year from now. You want to go 18, I'm guessing, right? 20, 30, young man age, which is
Yes.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're telling me you're a long-term investor. The
Mm-hmm.
second thing you just noticed, you said, "Hey, I'm not trying to get risky. I'm not trying to get, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and I have nothing, and I'm not trying to get too risky. But I want, I understand there's risk involved with investing, right?
Yes,
So
definitely.
I would say that you're a moderate risk taker. And the last thing that I'm hearing is that you are the last thing that I'm hearing is that you're saying, "Hey, I make pretty good money, and I have money that I want to invest for my son." First, I want to
Mm-hmm.
commend you on thinking of your son because it's a lot of people that don't think about this until the child is in the 11th grade
Oh, definitely.
or in the 12th grade or in the 10th grade when they get a scholarship and they're like, "Oh crap, what am I going to get $40,000 from, or where am I going to get 20, 30, whatever? How can I help my child?" Right? So that's
Okay.
good that you're thinking about it. Now, you mentioned 529 plans. What are the pros and cons of a 529 plan? For the listeners out there, that's a college savings plan, right? It's pretty much government or it's state backed, right? Like you have out in like California has its own 529 plan. The pros of a 529 plan is the tax breaks. For prime example, you put money in there, you can open one up for your child, you can invest into it, regularly, and once they get to the age, 18, 19, or whatever the case, they want to go to college, they can use that money tax free for qualified government plans, right? Now,
Okay.
the thing of it, the thing to think of, the cons of that is as your child get older, let's say he doesn't want to go to college. Say if you kind of realize your son is a freaking amazing musician, or he's excellent with computers, or he's whatever the case may be, where he wants to start his own business, and he says, "Dad, you save this money to the side. I would like to use this money to start a business, or whatever the case may be." Or when they say qualified government, let's say the school, he says, "Hey, I don't want to go to school. I want to become a real estate agent and get into real estate. I just want to get a certificate in this and use my hands," or whatever the case may be. Then he could be penalized for that, right? If you don't use a qualified plan, you could be faced with a 10% penalty and stuff like that. That's what I don't like about it, because
Okay.
18, 20 years from now, I'm like, I don't want no red tape around my money, right?
No, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I might not be here. And now you're telling me he has to go to school, and if it doesn't qualify for this, and blah blah. The tax break is amazing. That's good. Then you're telling me that. Now the second thing I don't like about a 529 plan is when you invest in your money, it don't really tell you what your money is investing in, right? It's like, oh, your money is invested in age based or this fund, or like, okay, what is that fund? What is it? Is it, what does that fund consist of? Or was moderate, aggressive? I don't want to hear that. I want to know, what is exactly is it? Because sometimes if you think like I do, I want to say, hey, I want to go purchase my son Nike stock. I want to purchase my son Under Armour stock. I want to get him an ETF. I want to get him this mutual fund. So I'm a little bit, that's just my mentality. I like to be able to have a little bit more say so on where the investments go. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing I don't like about the 529 plan. The government tax break is, you put the money in, you don't have to pay taxes on the earnings or anything if you use it, theoretically for your college fund, which could be amazing. Your money grows and you don't have to pay tax on it. It's tax free. And if your child doesn't use it, let's say, this is your first child.
Yes.
Okay, so it's your first child. Let's say if you have another one and, your son don't want to use it. And now you can pass it on to somebody else, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We can pass it on to another child. He's like, say if he goes off to the NBA or something or whatever, or he got his own company, whatever he decides to do, you can say he's not using. You can pass it to another sibling, someone else in the
Oh,
family.
okay.
So that's another benefit of it. But to me, for example, let's look at the negative side. I have my son Wesley, right? Let's say
Yeah.
if Wesley grows up and he doesn't make good life decisions, and he goes off to prison, right? Now I
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
this money there. He's my only son. Now you're gonna tell me I gotta pay a 10% tax penalty, and I gotta pay all these penalties, and I gotta pay all these taxes on money that I put back over all these years because now I'm not using it for government. I'm like, well, you know what? You know, I don't want to give it to him because he's not making good decisions. He's on drugs. He's whatever the case may be. Not that I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to speak negativity on him. I'm just being realistic. Realistic. It
Yeah.
it could happen.
Yeah,
So
you
if
never
it
know.
does happen, you just never know. I try my best to raise him and do everything, but you just never know. Let's say if he grows up, I'm like, no, I do not. He's not going to college. I don't want to give him this money. I just want my money back, right? I can go on vacation or something with this money. I can put this in my own account. Now you mean to tell me now I got to pay a 10% penalty? Now I got to pay all these taxes on this money for me trying to do something right by my child? I don't like that red tape. That's just me
Yeah.
personally. So that's the pros and the cons of a 529. Now you could do something like you hinted on earlier, starting an account with TD Ameritrade, and you can open up a custodian account for your child. You can open up, right now, I think you gotta have an earned income to get an IRA, which, as your son get older,
Mm-hmm.
he gets some earned income. An IRA is another good one. And the positives about a custodian account is once you open it, you put money into it, you can dictate. You can go buy that ETF. Another facet that well, we're going to get into that later. You can dictate exactly where your money goes. You can be like, you know what, I'm in the Bay Area. You're right there in the Silicon Valley hub. You know everything about technology. You may hear about something new coming up. You may hear that, you know what, Facebook is doing amazing, and I want to invest into Facebook. Can you do that with a 529?
No.
Right? But if you got your own custodian account, you can be like, you know what, let me go get 10 shares of Facebook for my son. Or every day, like your son, when he grow up, you know, like most kids are, they're going to recognize the McDonald's arch, right? And every time they ride by, Daddy, McDonald's, McDonald's. And you're like, man, you know what? Every Friday at the tour, I'm getting a McDonald's. I'm buying PlayStations. I'm buying Xbox. I'm buying this. I want to invest into Microsoft. I want to invest into Google for my son, Amazon for my son. You can dictate what you can do exactly in that custodian account. That's a facet that I like, right? You can build your own portfolio. Now, the second facet that the downside to that is the taxes. You don't get that tax break at the end. You know, like once you go to take out your money, the government is going to be like, all right, Mr. Reynolds is making good money out here in Oakland. He wants to do this and do that. But the thing about it is, that's something that I would worry a little bit more down the line of how to get your money out, right? Because once you invest that money, if you're using it for school or qualified plans, it's ways to be able to get around that to be able to use it for your child. Like, hey, I'm just trying to pay tuition out of his IRA, out of his custodian account, right? That's something that you could, manage yourself. Another thing is fees are at a minimum. Fees. When you spoke about, should I get an ETF? Should I get a mutual fund? Ask yourself, have you ever purchased an ETF or a mutual fund yet, Mr. Reynolds?
Oh, yeah. I have. I have a few. I kind of focus on the Vanguard ETF. I try to buy a share of that a month at least. And then I know that with the mutual fund, it's doing very good. I mean, it's like 11. I get about average like 11% on that one. So, I mean, that's, when you factor in all the purchases, it's about 11.9%. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And, then I have the mutual funds. I have those too. Those are actually not doing that bad either. But like you said, the fees are way higher on those yearly. I mean, you're getting like a percent.
So the thing about it, why are the fees higher on the mutual fund than the ETF?
I remember you talking about the mutual fund is actively managed, so the person is going to take a higher fee. The ETF is kind of just a industry, like a conglomerate of industry businesses, like top 500 and the Vanguard's top 500 companies in the world, essentially.
Because it boils down to active passive. The ETF is passive, right? It's not trying to beat the market. It's just tracking. Whereas an active fund manager, right? You told me, you said that the mutual fund is actively managed. That's why somebody takes a higher fee. I don't care about you taking a higher fee if you give me higher returns. But you told me you're having more success with the ETF over the mutual fund.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that true?
It's probably double the percentage. I get. I'm probably getting like 6.5% mutual fund.
Now you're getting 6.5 with the mutual fund. You're getting with the ETF from Vanguard. What got you into purchasing the ETFs?
I didn't even know what an ETF was, man. And then I saw you doing videos. I'm like, I was buying individual stocks, man, and I wasn't doing great. Some of them were bad. Some of them, the worst I ever bought was Under Armour and Twitter, but that's another story.
Oh, so you didn't watch my video on Under Armour versus Nike. It's probably like a year old. That's why.
Yeah, I bought it too. I just bought it, man. And then I did see a video. I was like, oh shoot, man. That was
you saw my video?
It's been a drag, man. It's been such a drag on me. But I don't want to sell it because I don't want to lose yet. But I'm getting close to losing. But I saw your video about ETFs. I'm like, oh, exchange traded fund. Where are those? So then I started researching them, and I was like, oh man, that's me. Like you said, me being a moderate guy. That's more of my speed to go that way, where I'm getting a collection of things instead of just trying to diversify myself. let the market diversify for me. So that was more my speed.
So you did see my Under Armour video.
Yeah. Well, after I bought it, I'm gonna tell you this. So I bought it. It went up, bro. It went up like I bought 3 shares, and those 3 shares I made like $40 a piece at one point. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hold it, and I should have sold it. And it went down. Now it's down so far. I mean, it's amazing how much it's fell in that amount of time, man. Like, it's crazy.
Now the thing about it was, when I made that video Under Armour versus Nike, you know how much flack I caught for that?
Nah, man, people were mad about that. You were telling the truth.
At that time, Under Armour, if you look at that video, Under Armour was at like $80-something.
I bought it early, and it was high. I was like, oh man, this is going up.
It was at 80. This is when Under Armour is skyrocketing. Nike is just kind of sitting there. Under Armour is skyrocketing. Under Armour is just like the hot thing. Stephen Curry, he's doing the crossover. You know, he's doing the jab step and shooting up the threes. The Curry twos out. They do all these deals, and I just was like, hey man, I think this, because you got to think about this video. That video is like a year or two old. You know, and I compared it to. I was like, man, why is this stock this high? I said, it looked like a bunch of gas to me. I had people that had relatives from Under Armour. You know what you're talking about. We get ready to do great things. We're this, and now they're calling me a genius. I was like,
you're a genius now, man.
I was like, I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm picking a stock. I'm like, why is this stock this high? Let's look at the numbers. Forget all the commercials. Forget what the media is putting out. Forget, I love Under Armour. You look at my videos, you see me in Under Armour all the time. So I love the brand, but I don't love the stock.
Yeah, man.
People call me. I think this is the hot thing. I say, hey, I just looked at the numbers, but I don't want to get off the topic,
Yeah.
But I don't want to get off the topic. But that's good. I'm glad I was able to help somebody out there with making a better financial decision, and giving 11% return. Because think about it. If you don't invest, what else are you going to do with the money?
Sit in the bank and get. I mean, on my money market account, I was getting like 0.003% interest on. I was like, what is it? And that's what really got me. And I saw you start watching you, and I saw that. I'm like, even if I lose 1% on this money a year, I mean, it's better than just sitting in here giving them money to do whatever they do with, and I get nothing in return.
Exactly. So think about it. If you don't, you have to invest, because every day you get up, Keith, you're going to Walmart, you're going to Target, you're watching TV, you're paying cable, you're buying clothes, you're participating in the economy. You're just you're not benefiting from the economy. You're participating, but you're not benefiting. You're buying stuff, you're doing this, you're doing that. And when it boils down to it, guess what? When you go into Walmart and you pay $500 for whatever you're going to buy, you walk out of that store, within 2 to 3 months, every day is like a car. It's depreciating in value. It is, right? So it's like, so some people are like, well, I don't invest because I don't want to lose. It's like, well, you're losing anyway.
Definitely,
right?
Yeah.
You're losing anyway. You're guaranteed to lose on this end. At least I have a dog in the fight, right? So some people be like, well, if I invest, I want to get $1 million. It ain't about making $1 million. It's like, okay, listen, like you just said, you said your money market account. That is one of the high interest rate barriers. Your checking account pretty much gets you nothing. You go a level above that, your savings account, it's a little bit higher than nothing. Then you go to a money market account, which is a tad bit higher than a little or nothing. Then you go to a CD, which is you get a little something, but it ain't much. Inflation is 3% a year. 3% average inflation rate is growing every year. If your money is not doing 3% or better, you are losing every year. But the thing, you don't think about it because you don't see it. You kind of like, well, I look in my account, I still got the same $1,000. But when you go to the store, you don't know the gas prices went up a little bit. $10,000 a day don't have the same power it had 5 years ago.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, $10,000 a day, 50 in the Bay Area, man.
Yeah, if you went 10 years ago, you probably would have been able to make a little noise.
Yes, yeah.
Now today, it's like, that's cute. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by having the ability to be able to. That's what I mean. But you have to be able to keep up with inflation or match it. Now, when you look at the world of investing, your money is only going to three areas. Either you're going to get into real estate, you're going to get in some facet of the stock market, or you're going to get in some way of business. That's it. If there's another way of investing, anybody I didn't know, you call and inbox me and email me and say, hey, Prince, you're wrong. You do all this other stuff, right? So this is why you have to get into it. So with real estate, some people may not have the credit. It takes a large commitment. You might be in the Bay Area today, but you might decide to move to Seattle. So some people may not have the capital. They may not have the credit. They may not have the it takes a little while. You got to get a real estate agent. You got to do a little research. Versus the stock market, somebody could have $500. Hey, I only got $200 left over a month to invest. You can do it. With $100 a month, you can do it, right? But you don't have to have great credit and this and that you don't need 10% down. So that's why, and people are like, well, I don't trust the stock market. I think it's a scam. I think it's a bunch of crooks or whatever. But it's like, okay, well, I don't care about what emotions are. Let's look at history. Let's look at numbers. What has consistently beat inflation over the last 100 years, right? And in 2008, when that market went down, what else went down?
The housing market. Everything went down.
That is the heartbeat of the economy. Your IRA went down. Your 401k went down. Everybody started laying off. Everybody started bankrupting. Housing market went down. Everybody went down. The only thing that went up at that time was commodities like gold, like it will again. Hard metals, silver, and gold. Those things will go up again. People are going to look for safe ways. That's just natural how the market works. But anyway, I won't get off topic again. But I'm glad. So people may be like, well, 11%, that ain't nothing. Well, you show me where you got 2% last year.
Yeah, 11% for me. I mean, that's especially for just starting. And I'm not, I don't have a investor's background. So being able to buy some ETFs, some cheap oil stocks here and there, some other stuff like that, to get 11%. I mean, that's pretty good,
And you think about it, when people try to go in and individually pick stocks, only the elite of the elite. People follow people on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Those people are only going to show you what they're winning. They're not showing you their losses. They're not. They're oh man, look what I made. I show when I take a loss, I'll tell you. I think, man, this ain't all peaches and cream. It's a bad side to this if you jump into this. And to think about it, if anybody can open up a laptop and just make money, we'll all be doing it. And you're seeing it right in front of your eyes. Your ETF is outperforming your mutual fund. Your mutual fund is actively managed by professionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your mutual fund is actively managed by professionals. Your ETF is not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are doubling your return off of the mutual fund. And do you know what type of mutual fund you got? You know the stock symbol of it?
Yeah, let me get it. I'm going to see it right now. Pull
it up right now.
Let me look. Let me get it for you. Oh, shoot.
Log on in and give it to me so I could see if I can look it up.
Where'd it go? Oh, it's NC.
1 second. Hold on. I know I asked for it, but I ain't even ready. I'm logging in. 1 second. All right, what is it again?
NC FPX.
FTX?
FPX. FPX.
So that is NCFTX.
No, P as in Paul, X.
Oh, okay. PX. Not there. PX. Okay, New Central International.
Mm-hmm. And then the other was
okay, so they don't. All right, I could have to look up this one on TD Ameritrade. What's the other one?
The other one that's doing okay is R as in Robert, B as in boy, C as in cat, G as in go, X.
All right. Oh, Reynolds Blue Chip growth. All right.
Yeah. my last name. That's why I bought it.
That's why I know when I started saying Reynolds, I was like, he was like, I like this. Now, what is the expenses on this one? How much is you paying a month on this one? I mean, what is the expense on this?
On the Reynolds, I believe the management fee is 1%.
Okay. Now, let me look at Reynolds and tell you.
And they're doing pretty good.
How long has this mutual fund been around? Oh, it's been around for a while. It's been around since 2000. So what we're going to do now, since its inception in 1991, Reynolds has not outperformed the S&P 500 in 5 years.
Mm.
Reynolds has not outperformed the S&P fund in 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
in 3 years, in 5 years. In 10 years, it's about the same as the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
And since its inception back in 1991, when it started, it has not outperformed the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has outperformed your mutual fund by 200%.
Oh wow!
And by 200% since 1991. The S&P 500 is up over 500%. Reynolds is about 300%.
Mm.
So now, on top of that, your mutual fund, your fees is 1.86.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost 2%. Now you're saying, okay, Prince, I ain't worried about it. Let me show you how 2% add up. Let's go to portfolio. We're going to look at. Let's go to Snapchat. Move this out of my screen. Let's look at. All right, so you're paying 1.86 in this mutual fund. How long have you had it?
Oh man, maybe I say a year and a half now.
Okay, how much you put into it?
I put in $450 so far.
Do you put it on a consistent basis, or you just buy it one time and just leave it?
For that one, I bought it over a 6-month period. I put it in, and then I stopped. I just stopped putting it in, and I just start focusing on the Vanguard, the VOO symbol.
Okay.
ETF.
And Vanguard, you out there hearing me? Y'all need to start paying me.
Yeah, man. Cause you definitely put me on to them, so I didn't even know if they existed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't until. But when I learn, I give stuff out. E-Trade know I exist. They watch my videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna walk you down a real world scenario, right? So let's say if you decided, hey, I want to get this Reynolds growth. I never heard of this company, mutual fund. This is what I was told. Hey, I like it with my last name. We're going to let you know how fees add up. All right?
Okay.
Now, let's say if realistically, if you open up a mutual fund, how much you think you'll probably start with? Like, $500?
For my son, it'd be about $500. Yeah.
They'd be like, all right, here we go. We're going to give this to Baby Reynolds, $500. And then how much you think you'll probably add a month for Baby Reynolds?
Probably add anywhere between $125 to $200 a month.
Let's say you did $200. You added $200 a month. And you did this for, let's say, 17 years. Because he's going to be 18 in 17 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do 18 years. He'd be 18 and a half at the time. Now, out of that 18 years, number one, you're not outperforming the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much it will cost you in fees with VU over that 18 years with the numbers you just gave me?
No.
It will cost you $22.
Oh.
Okay. Now, how much take a guess on how much Reynolds will cost you?
Man, if that's $22, I would say, man, $200 or $300, maybe more.
Right here in front of you, I'm gonna screenshot it too. Is $916.93.
Oh man. Yeah.
So VU is gonna charge you $22 over this 18-year span, estimated market return of 5%, and it's outperforming your rentals, right?
Yeah.
I put it on the chart. I put rentals up when you told me I put it in. I laid the S&P 500 over it. It's underperforming the S&P 500. I can't even do the math. How much more are you paying in fees? 22 versus 96.
You're paying $940.
You're paying $920.
Yeah.
So I said, how much you in percentage wise? How much more are you paying?
Whoa. Ah, man, that's 10, 20. You paying? I don't know, man. That's a lot.
You're paying over like 4,000% higher.
Yeah, 4,000, 45, 4,500%. Yeah, something like that.
4,000% higher. That's equivalent to me paying $1 for something. You paying $4,000 for something.
Dang.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how fees add up. That's why people are rich on Wall Street.
Wow. That's a good illustration of.
Now, inside of rentals, this mutual fund that you have, it has 60, pretty much $70 million in assets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been around since 88.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, inside of it, guess what it's tracking? It has Amazon, Apple. It has Amazon, Apple, Google, Tesla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those things are already in your VOO.
Yeah, so the top 500 companies. Yeah.
They're already in your VOO.
Yeah.
You already invested into those companies for a whole lot less. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus you are paying somebody, you put money in. I know it got your last name and it sounds cool and stuff like that, but these are facts, right? This is just one mutual. This is just one mutual fund. I didn't even get to the other one.
Yeah. Plus, VOO is giving me a dividend too. I just noticed that.
It's getting a dividend that you can enroll into the DRIP program and have reinvested. Yeah. What's Reynolds' dividend?
Yeah, I don't see one.
Tell you why you don't see one, because it ain't one. I'm looking right at it. It's zero.
Yeah.
It's zero. Reynolds has a 491% turnover rate in its portfolio. What that means is how often somebody is buying and selling. Look at it, buying and selling out. That's why those fees are probably so high, because they're buying and selling, trying to match and beat the market that they're failing at.
Mm.
You looking at it in your portfolio. VOO, which one is performing better?
Oh, Vanguard definitely performing better, man. Like, it's probably double right now.
Whoa. You mean to tell me Vanguard is doubling your performance of Reynolds, but Reynolds is charging you 4,000% more?
Yeah, when you put it in that perspective, man.
Hey, I'm just looking at the numbers. That's why I like finance, because I'm just looking at the numbers. I'm not lying about the numbers. This is what you told me. I didn't set this call up. We didn't. Hey, W, this is what you said, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you're looking at. This is what you have, right? The companies that are in the portfolio, you got some Tesla, you got Facebook, you got Netflix. You already got that in VOO.
Yeah.
You got Apple in here, you got Tesla in here, you got Costco's, inside of this mutual fund in Reynolds Growth. And guess what? It ain't outperforming the S&P 500.
See, I never broke it down like this, man. I never broke it down like this, and I kind of feel not ashamed, but I feel like I should have, especially me being being involved in like science field. I should have took a different approach to purchasing it than just my last name. But I was kind of excited to buy stuff.
But hey, that's a good thing, man, because you know what? You did the smart way, because first of all, you took the step that most people would have never took. I don't know enough. I'm not doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And then the second thing was you changed your mindset. You found YouTube channels, you found podcasts and Facebooks and Twitters and Instagram to go back and check on stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at this stuff, that's what, like people are, Facebook is negative, my YouTube is negative. And no, it's the people that you're following is negative. The stuff that you're following is negative. You can subscribe to whatever you want by subscribing to channels and downloading these type of podcasts. You was able to grow your well knowledge. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not advising you like, nah, man, go get this mutual fund or go get this ETF. I'm not being paid by Vanguard, ETF. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just looking at what's real. You know what I mean?
No,
this is what I see. Within a
No,
couple months,
definitely,
if I
because
find something better, you know.
yeah, if I didn't have Voodoo, man, it would be definitely worse because I did at first buy that, you know, because some people, you look at some people's YouTube, they'll say, oh, you should have this percentage of this percentage of that, you know. So that's why I was kind of like on the defiance. I have to go buy some mutual funds because I should have this percentage of mutual funds in my, you know, portfolio. But when you break it down with the fees and, you know, you see the performance, you know, it kind of doesn't make sense to do that if it's not performing at a rate.
And then think about it. Your Voodoo's got your ETF that tracks the S&P 500. There's other ETFs that do it. But guess what? You already got the top 500 companies in America. How much more diversification do you need?
That's true. No, you're right.
Then look at it. Your mutual fund is tracking stuff that's already in the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
If you was going to go buy a car and I was selling you the car for $500, somebody down the street charging you $5,000, and it's just like you just went down the street and got it for $5,000, and we got the same. You know, nobody would do that, but people would do that in finance who just don't know. You know, that's why I like to have this podcast. You know, I'm gonna put this up on the channel as well, so people could sit back and listen to it. I can lead the horse to water. I can have the information out there, but if they don't want to listen to it, then hey, that's on you. Right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But you know, that's why I put the stuff out there, because had I taken care of this through email, had I taken care of this through an email or maybe a phone call, somebody else out there is, how many Keith Reynolds you think are out there?
Oh, there's a lot, man. I know it's a lot of people, you know, friends of mine that I try to give them advice with the knowledge that I do have, you know, because like you said earlier, there's 3 different ways, you know, and those other 2 ways I'm also investing, you know, and I feel that's going to be more my diversification, and that's why I was like, I'm going to focus on the ETF, you know. But then especially now with this conversation, that's definitely going to be the way to go.
You know, these are hard facts. Now, I'm not saying, oh, this is all you need is the index, but guess what? You are, when you buy that ETF like that tracks the S&P, when you got that index, you're going to beat 95% of investors out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch my show, and you see my show, you see some of the type of guests I have on.
Mm-hmm.
And the guests that I have on, these are not somebody's cousins. These are people that are like hedge fund managers, you know, Berkshire Hathaway, you know, from London, Tokyo, the financial hubs of the world, right? Always look at the source of information, you know, because everybody out there got something, but look at the source. You know, I go directly to I go to Wall Street. You know, I'll go to Wall Street. I'll go to Goldman Sachs. You know, those are the type of people that I want to be around. I want to listen to. I want to see what they're doing. And I bring that down to regular people like you. Like, hey, man, I got a job. I just had a son. I'm out here making good money. I want to find something better to do with that. And, you know, what happens is people learn one asset, right? They learn one little thing, and they start to tell other people, not knowing that, hey, I know it's a ton of stuff that I don't know. But that's why I read books every day. And when I read books, I give book reviews. I interview people. I sit down with them behind the scenes. I travel and go learn this stuff. And I do that so I could learn more and more every day. 2 or 3 years or months down the line, something new or something else I find out that might be better than the ETF, guess what? I'm going to tell people.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But I know we kind of still have a topic, but it all kind of correlates back to it. Right. So now when you're investing for your son, had you not taken that first step and started investing, you would have never discovered this stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't have. No. This has been an education, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But had you not doing, you like, hey, you know what? You know, it's like, you know, I've been through that, you know. Like Jay-Z said, Hov went through that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing for your son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dad did that. I made these mistakes, but I'm gonna set my son up better than I set myself up because I've been through the mood swings. I jumped into you went out here and bought a bunch of stocks you probably knew nothing about.
I did, man. They just sitting in my portfolio now, and I'm like, I don't know why it happened, man.
Exactly. But you working right there near Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
You on YouTube watching me, but you didn't see Google.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You right there by the Googles and the Facebooks and all that good stuff like that. But and Apple and all these companies like Microsoft, you're right there by them. But you went off and brought something that you knew nothing about. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because I did. People are thinking I just come up with this stuff that I went through those things. I spent years and years at it. I'm sitting up here on Facebook every day, but I'm trying to study something out of China that I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about a Bitcoin, but guess what? I'm just going to jump straight to it and look right over the companies that I know. I'm watching Netflix every night. You know what I mean? I want to take my son to Disney. I'm watching ESPN and, I'm going to Walmart every single day, or I'm on Amazon shopping every day, getting the next deals, but I'm also studying about this new thing out of Australia that I put my money in. Or, a couple months ago, the hot thing was marijuana stocks. Everybody was all over marijuana stocks.
Yep. Saw that.
Where those people go?
Yeah, that's because like you said. When you talked about that, I was like, that's right. Just trying to buy into those kind of things. There's no leader in the industry, so it's like, why would I invest in
exactly? Now, when I said that at the height of the marijuana craze, I caught so much backlash. You know what you're talking about, blah, blah. I know this coming over here. I'm like, okay, now here we are in August. Where's all that talk at?
Yeah, I know a guy. He lost $600, man. Buying those stocks, man.
And you gotta think about it. Marijuana had done that 2 years ago. I'm speaking on things that I have seen and went through. Right? I put a lot of time into this, and I said, hey, I don't know everything. I've done that. I've done it, and I see people going through. You kind of like, hey, man, I wouldn't even do it. This whole time while you digging and trying to figure out this marijuana stock that you know nothing about, Facebook done double, Amazon done double, Google done double. Nike just keep trucking away. Starbucks, all your coworkers are drinking Starbucks. You meeting up with people at Starbucks. It's just trucking away. All these McDonald's, you driving by one every 2 minutes, and you just look over those companies and you're worried about a marijuana stock out of middle of Colorado that you never heard of.
That's true. It's I have noticed, like you said, I bumped my head at the beginning, right? And you start learning, like, you overthink stuff, that's when you lose. When you try to, I'm trying to get in at this certain time with this certain stock. For me, especially being the kind of investor I am, I'm trying to monitor my buy, I'm a hold, I'm a collect them over time, like playing cards, essentially. It's kind of like, that's when I lose, man. When I'm trying to overthink it, just instead of, hey, let me get this VOL and just call it that.
Exactly. Now you logging in looking at the boo like, dang, man, that's doing pretty. And it's giving me a dividend. They don't get dividends. And, I just listened to this goofy looking dude on YouTube. He told me this, and, and everybody jumped on the Under Armour train. And then they turned around and looked at, now they're saying, hey, man, look at Under Armour. Now, when I put that about Under Armour and Nike, that's documented. That was years ago. People, you're an idiot, man, you crazy. They about to come out with the Curry 2s. They just signed this person. I'm like, that's good. That's good for press. I'm looking at the numbers, man. I'm looking at the raw numbers. Like, this don't match with the price they're getting right now. Now it's the time I may go buy me some Under Armour.
Yeah, because it's real low, man. It's so far down. I lost so much sleep on that.
But think about it, right? Because you have people on Wall Street every day trying to pick stocks, pick this, and they are privileged to so much information. They're privileged to. People consider research by going on Google, reading some from Wall Street Journal, reading some from Bloomberg, which is most of that stuff is fake news. That's what they consider research.
Mm-hmm.
These people that are at the highest level, they got connections to the actual company. You notice everybody on Wall Street usually come from Harvard or Stanford or Google. So let's say me and you went to college together at Stanford. I work on Wall Street. You work at Google now. You some high up person because we went to Harvard together. You don't think I can just call you and be like, hey man, listen, what's going on?
Yeah. It's that social capital, That's it. That social capital.
Exactly. This is $1 billion hedge fund. You don't think that we're gonna break you off something to let us know when something's going crazy?
Mm-hmm.
These are not people who got $100 on the line, $1,000 on the line, or even millions. They got billions on the line. So they know they are privileged to information, but you have some people who sitting in mom's basement reading press releases, thinking they know more than the people who work at the company.
They're behind the scenes.
They're over here laughing like, this guy's an idiot, right?
Yeah.
But, the people that I had, like Lars Kroger, he's a huge hedge fund manager out in the UK. He meant Harvard graduate. He graduated cum laude. He's been on the show. I think I put up one interview with him. I have another one just hadn't. I got a lot of interviews I sit on that I just haven't gotten out yet. But, he sent me his latest book. Right, he autographed, he signed it, wrote me a letter, and in his letter he said, "Your followers are very fortunate to have you." And he found me through just like you found. He found me through YouTube, and this guy is huge in the financial industry, and he's way out of London. So that lets me know that's a good pat on the back to let me know I'm on the right track. I'm doing something, right or whatnot. But,
you are, man. Like I said, like you're clear and concise about strategies, man. You get a lot of people, just because I was on this like investing, this financial kind of pilgrimage, I would call it. I was like, I got to find all this information. I want to get all this information and condense it. And I find out a lot of people are vague about strategy. They'll say go invest, right? Or they'll say go be diversified, but they won't break down what that is. And that is for a layman's person like me. That is the most important part, like you said, like those details, and that's something you do. That's rare here, to be honest.
Yeah, some people like, hey man, they make videos with all these. I got a webcam. I don't have no 3-4 cameras. I just got a TV show here in Hawaii, a local TV show that I do once a week. But I don't have all these cameras and lights and flashy stuff. I just got a webcam, and all the way. I just got a webcam, and I just be like, hey man, people don't want to hear all that fluffy stuff. They don't care about all your lights and your cameras and your glitz. They just want to know, where do I get started? How do I get started? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I go out and I get the best financial minds that they would never have access to and bring them to speak to them. So you be like, you ain't got to listen to me, you can listen to these particular people. Then I'm always self-educating. I got formally educated, self-educated myself, and that's what I try to do. I don't know, we're going to talk too much, I talk a lot. So, I got wrote up a lot as a kid for talking, and it's ironic that I have a talk show because that's what I just love to do.
Well, it worked out. It worked out the right way then, huh?
Exactly. I tell my principals, like, all the times y'all wrote me up, all those times I said I was talking out of term, I was talking to, now people pay me to talk. It worked out, And it's not just, and that's one thing about my channel. I don't have anything entertaining. I don't try to go in, I'm a goofy looking dude, but I don't have like no crazy antics or nothing like that to make it entertaining. It's just straight knowledge, education, and just info. And just to make it off the info or whatnot. And even all the way down to I just left Warren Buffett's meeting 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks ago, but 2 months ago. I think that was in May. Something like that, 2 months ago. And for them to allow me to come there, that was a great look. And, they like what I was doing. They like the books. They like what I was putting out. And, they invited me, mailed stuff to my house and said, hey, come up. So, and then the other big thing, they invited me back to come back next year. So, if everything goes well, I'll be back in the building next year. So I enjoyed it. Cause that's you guys get to hear and see stuff like that. You know, a lot of people don't perfect their craft, you know, and that's one thing
Definitely.
that I try to do is to perfect my craft. I get around and try to do what I can do to get around and learn from the best minds in the business. So, and and it's just an honor when they return their love. I learned real quick it's a difference between knowing people and people knowing you.
Oh,
Because
that's big. Yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah.
you know,
That's,
so I thought I was
maybe a
like, yeah, I
barrier.
know this person. And you come and you be like, hey, would you do this for me? They be like, brother, I don't know you like that. You like, what?
I know
So
who you are.
I,
Yeah.
I took a picture with you, man, and everything. They be like, man, so for them to when somebody knows you, they'll do something for you. They'll let you come to Berkshire and get this exclusive content, and you know, and to yeah, when I was at Berkshire, I was up in there with a cell phone, and
Yeah.
everybody, you know, I had a cell phone and a little camera carrying my own stuff. You know, you talking about Wall Street Journal, CNN, and Morningstar, all these huge financial conglomerates had all these lights, cameras, and crews, and there I was
Hmm.
by myself. But I got in, and you know, all I wanted was the opportunity, and they gave me an opportunity, and you know, that's all I wanted and whatnot. Became the first ever independent outlet that Berkshire ever allowed. So, and
But I think that's what people appreciate, that your content is approachable, man. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's not like, oh man, I can't even. This is just so much that it's so high level that I can't even
Mm-hmm.
take it in. You know, so I
Absorb.
think that's,
What is
yeah,
this?
and so I think that's important too.
Yeah, people are like, well, what does it got to do with me? Like, okay,
Exactly.
um, but this is how does this affect me? But back to the point, right? You're saying you got your son. So now that you've seen that, you know, you kind of look at your mutual funds and you compare them to ETFs, and you're looking at the fees now, and you see how fees add up. Like when I told you, I was like, hey, you like 1%, 1.86. That's cool. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But
Mm-hmm.
but when you saw the number, you're like, whoa, hold up, man.
Over
I got
years, that's not gonna happen now.
this. This this is not the especially when this growth fund and this ETF are kind of almost tracking the same thing. I'm just paying double for something, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, so now getting it for your son, going for an investment for your son, like you can, like if you get that 529, you got the tax breaks. But for what I seen, I looked into California's on. It doesn't seem to. It's not too hands on. And then the fees are there. The fees are
Hmm.
like 0.44. The fees
Hmm.
are about 500, 600. It's more than that. Let me do it for you right now. Um, uh, they're like 400 and something percent higher, or more than that. You know, about 1,000% higher in fees compared to VU. But they're just like, oh, let us manage it for your child. We got this plan and this plan and this plan. I'm like, what's in the plan? And half the times when you open up those plans are filled with mutual funds, or whatnot. And the fees,
Hmm.
they're not high fees, they're just higher than the VU, right? The S&P 500 is a benchmark of finance. If you're not beating it, then and then when I looked at the 529 plans and I compared to the S&P 500, they still don't beat the S&P 500 is a smidget higher, but
Hmm.
I'm like, well, why are your fees this much higher? I might as
Yeah,
well. But the thing, but
yeah.
yeah, but the good part about it is the tax breaks at the end. So you have to see which one is important to you. Hey, the possible tax breaks, or if I invest myself, um, these things are not. They're pretty much on par, or they're on par, or they're just right below. Mutual the ETF, the S&P 500, and in some mutual funds, about 10% of mutual funds beat the S&P 500. But look at the fees. One, two,
Hmm.
you're looking in the rearview mirror. They did that for this year, that year, but are they going to be able to do that in the future?
Yeah, over a
So
long
you
period of
want,
time.
yeah, over the long period of time, is he going to keep doing it? Yeah, you had a good little run. You can go in there and do something, have a good little run, but over a consistent, like if you play Michael Jordan in 100 games, you're probably gonna get one.
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
you you might eventually get a shot off, or you might get a good move out of 100. But going forward, would you want to take that? you know, um, that approach, and you got to look at it that way too. So that's how I look at the mutual fund industry. I did a video call. I sold all my mutual funds, and this is why, because that was the first thing I brought when I came to the market. Mutual funds. That's it. It's a good way to diversify, spread your money out. Okay, all right. Well, I ain't trying to pick no individual stocks. Boom. And I'm not just saying just because now and I would advise you for your son, to look into get him an index, right? Get him an ETF. Open him up an account and get him an ETF. And when he has an ETF, as he grow older and he loves sports, you make it fun. Y'all invest together. Y'all sit down and like, hey, you know what? You like these cereal. Let's flip this box over and see who owns this company. And now we're going to buy you some General Mills. And once we buy you this General Mills, we're going to do this and do that and do that, right?
Okay.
So, make it so he's understanding at a young age too. He feels as though, wow, I'm investing. And Dad, what about who owns this company? And Dad, who's done this or whatnot?
He gets to get that mentality.
Yeah. So you can automatically, he get that mentality to where he wants to invest. And when he gets to your age, he's not out there trying to figure out and learn. It makes it fun. He's like, Dad, you know what? Like, all right, son, what you going to invest in this? Well, let's do Microsoft, or let's do this. And as he get older, then you can introduce him into real estate and then to business. Another thing is I would advise, get your son an insurance policy right away.
Oh, definitely. Got him one. Yeah, got one of those. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know if you got a term or a whole life. Me personally, with term policies, they're cheaper, but term policies are good. Most of them, the longest I've seen terms are like 30 years. But, usually you don't want to become 30 years old and then have a heart issue. Let's say you're 25 and you have a heart issue. As soon as that policy run out, you're going to go through hell and back trying to get a new policy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody's going to want to insure you. Like the last one you heard on the podcast with a guy, he was a trucker. And he was like, I got a heart condition, and, I'm going through that now. I can't really get insurance because I'm waiting on a heart transplant. So that's one thing I don't like about terms. But it's a new one. You may want to write this down and look into it, called Index Universal Life Policies. Yes, they protect you for your whole life. And what they do is they are a little bit more, they're like a whole life policy. They are a whole life policy, essentially. But what happens is your cash value in your account, it tracks the index. It tracks the S&P 500. So now, not only now your son has a life insurance policy, he also has an investment vehicle that's also tax-free. So now you put your money there. Now your son, he has a whole life policy. So what happened in my situation was my son Wesley, he's 6 now. When he was 4, he got diagnosed with autism, right? When I think it was 3 or 4. So when we went to go get insurance for him, a lot of insurance companies turned him down because of that, right? So the case is, I'm using my personal situation to say, hey, if you get it right away, because you don't never know what may happen to your son. You never know if he develops something. Let's say if they, God forbid, is this a hole in his heart, or is this he has cancer, or he had anything wrong with him, he had autism, anything can happen to him, right? And you don't want to have it where I got a term policy, now he's 30, it's done. Now he pretty much got to go through hell and back to try to find somebody to insure him. Versus if you give him an Index Universal Life or something like that, a whole life, by the time he's your age, the policy is paid off and he has a large cash value. That's also exactly. Now he has a cash value that he can borrow against and use and start a business or go to school. That'll be tax free to him because it's a insurance policy. So now he's covered on insurance. He's covered on life. So that may be something you may want to look into. The thing I like about that one is I had a whole life policy in the past, but the cash value just sat there. It was like in a savings account. It pretty much didn't do anything. But with the Index Universal Life, I picked how much I wanted to put in every month. They told me what my death benefit would be. And then they're like, hey, on top of this, the cash value that you have left over is going to track the index.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good one. That's smart.
Yeah. It's called Index Universal Life Policy, IULs. May want to look into that. I'm not telling you got to go get one, but you can look into that and talk to a insurance agent in your area, or a licensed insurance agent And I'm a licensed insurance agent myself, so I don't practice in the industry. I went and got the license because I wanted the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have my Series
Yeah.
65, Series 63 license. I don't use them, but I went and got them for the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I went and interned. And that's how I discovered it. As I was
Yeah.
interning, I was like, whoa, hold up, and like this is pretty cool. Like this is really this is really existing. And like yes, this is how it happened. And the only risk to that is you have to qualify. Like I
Mm-hmm.
told you, I wanted to get it for my son, but he didn't qualify because of his
Mm-hmm.
history. Versus anybody a 7-month-old baby, pretty much anybody take that deal.
Yeah, it was confusing. Like when we first started getting life insurance, right? Even for me and my wife, it was like I didn't know what I had all these different plans, and so I didn't even know about this. So I'm gonna look into that one too.
They're looking into that one because uh, now the fees on it are higher,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't care about fees when I look at the return.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about paying $1,000 when somebody's bringing you back 4,000. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So
Mm-hmm.
when I look at Index Universal Life, and this is the deeper part about it is it has a cap on it, right? It has a cap that you cannot make more than 14% from the S&P 500. That's the cap. It matches the index, right? But this is the cool part is if the market crashes, you get none of the loss.
Mm. That's a good trade-off.
So it's like, hey, we're going to cap you out at 14. So sometimes the market is done 35%. But like, hey, out of that 35, you're only going to get 14. But the market sinks if a '08 happens and it goes down 50%, we're going to bottom you out at 0. Your floor is 0. Your cap is, XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the ups, you get all the ups, but none of the downs. So when somebody's doing that, they have to be able to charge fees to be able to compensate. So they're going to look at a 7-month-old baby. They're going to be like, hey, he's going to be around, for 50, 60 years. That's a steady income for them, an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
So now your son has a death benefit, and because right now with your VU, everything is looking good. But I guarantee you, another economical downturn will happen.
Yeah,
right?
definitely happens. Yeah.
But when you see that, stay the course, keep investing. Right, and it's easier said than done, but just keep investing. I came into the market in '08. And I wish, I had got mutual funds, and I didn't know. I was just jumping out on a limb. Then when '08 started to happen, I'm like, man, this stuff is a scam. Man, let me get my money out of here. Dumbest decision I made. But one of the smartest decisions I made, one guy was like, hey, use your 401k and invest into this and blah, blah. And I did it, and, I had great returns from it. But I wish I would have stayed the course back then and kept investing. I went and pulled up that statement. I'm like, I ain't pull it all out, did I? Did I leave a little bit? Y'all sure I got it? Jesus, I ain't leave a couple shares, but like, nah, you told us you wanted to cancel. I was like, dang. But I just didn't know. You're scared. And think about it, I just had just if you get the chance to check out my TV show, the first episode I did was with Yahoo Finance chief chief editor, right? Andy Sorey. Andy Sorey, he worked for Fortune. He was the chief editor of for Fortune magazine for like 30 years, and he's been with Yahoo now for 3 years. And he was at Berkshire. He's the one. He does all the elite interviews. He does the Buffetts, Bill Gates, anybody that's on the elite level of finance. Those are the people that he sits down and talk to, right? And when he was on my show, he said, when '08 happened, he said Buffett was investing like crazy, but I was scared. I was like, and I was just kind of like, man, this guy's a seasoned investor, and he was scared. So he said it's easier said than done. That was something he said on the show I thought was pretty shocking. So even when that boo comes to like, North Korea launches a missile and we go into World War III or whatever, you just got to keep sticking with it. Because at the end of the day, when I saw the government lay off people just to get that stock market back up, I knew that's where I wanted to be. I was like,
Yeah.
if they willing to lay people off, they willing to cut the military back, they willing to rob, kill, and steal just to get this market back up. This is where I need to be at.
Yeah, 'cause
No,
that's the priority.
that's the problem. I'm like, what? I mean, where else are they doing this at? So and I mean, so let's stay the course with that. Look at the insurance, because think about terms. They're cheap. You can get some very cheap for your child, but most loan terms don't go to 30. Now your son is 30 years old, and he something happened to him, or he developed something. Now insurance companies may not want to cover him.
Mm.
Now all that money you put in 30 years, where did it go? What you got to show for it?
Yeah, it's just poof. Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but look at that, man. Look into that. They have a lot of them have living benefits. Whereas if you was to lose your job, or if you was to get found with cancer or a sickness where you couldn't work, a lot of them had living benefits too. So look into living benefits on an IUL and something like that, because a lot of them they'll give you the upside, but they won't protect the downside. I heard about it first through Tony Robbins' first book, 7 Ways. I think it's 7 Ways to Master Money. I heard about it there, but when I did an internship at Guardian Financial Wealth Management out of Austin, Texas, that's when I saw it in real life, and I said, "Man, this is where I want to." I said, I need to do this. So me and my wife, we have policies because, I'm actually doing the military. I've been in the military now 14 and a half years.
Okay.
So. Been in the military 14 and a half years, and we already got a policy, we good, but I'm not gonna be in the military forever.
No.
So I'm not gonna be here forever. So it's been great to me. I got a lot of education and able to travel the world and see things and meet a lot of people, but I know I'm preparing for my next life.
Yeah, I
So
figured that's why you were in Hawaii. I'm like, he must be military. He must be in the military still.
yeah, we all be down here. I'm getting ready to leave Hawaii soon, so moving to Denver, Colorado. So.
No.
But but having those policies, man, that's something you may want to look into for your son as well. Because people be like, man, for $15 you can cover your child, but it's only good for 30 years. The insurance company, that's how the game is set up. That's what Buffett makes majority of his money. Did you know that Buffett owns Geico?
No, I didn't know that.
He owns Geico. So that's that's the cash flow. Every month you pay your insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the cash flow for me to go invest. You get what I'm saying? He may take. So all that insurance money that you're paying, they're going to take that because it's a bet. I'm betting you're going to live. You are betting you're going to die. Insurance company is only going to insure somebody they think is going to live that they can make money from. They're like, oh, a 7-month-old healthy baby, we can insure him easy. Like, okay, my son already has insurance. My job covers him and stuff like that, right? I'm good on insurance. But I know I need an investment vehicle for him. That like, okay, I want him to have something past me. So all they're gonna do is they're gonna look at a 7-month-old baby, for 30 months. I mean, for 30 years, he pays $20 a month. They're gonna do the math and say, okay, that's gonna be a cash flow for us. We're gonna take this money and go build a mall, right? Because think about it. How long you been paying insurance? Your car, your house, renter's insurance, car insurance, health insurance, this type of insurance. Why do you think they provide this stuff? But Buffett owns Geico. Wow. I saw with my own eyes. Geico was there. Dairy Queen was there. Some of those people in the interviews, those were the CEOs of those companies.
Wow, that's smart.
So
I think about that.
But before he purchased Geico, that's where he got his money, his cash flow. A lot of his cash flow came from insurance, the insurance business. So now all these people pay you insurance. You go build a skyscraper and you rent out the rooms, or you go build a mall, or you go build. So a lot of things are in cahoots with each other. He takes the insurance money, go and buy Dairy Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's in kind of like cahoots with each other. So the insurance company, they look at it as like, hey, a baby, are we going to bet he's going to be alive at the age of 30? It's all science. It's all quantitative. I don't know your education level, but it's all statistics. What is the likelihood of this? They already done it. A little boy, he has a 95% chance of living to the age of 30. So they're taking that bet on you. They say in this case, only 5% of kids like this die. So they're taking a 95% chance of winning that you're going to pay that cash flow. And they're going to take that cash flow and go somewhere else with it. If they think the odds are against them, they won't insure you.
Yeah,
you going in with a heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, this dude got a heart problem, 40 years old. I don't know about that one. Now, 7-month-old healthy baby, yes. So that's how the game is set up, you know. Where you and think about it. The reason how you know they go together. Name me one financial institution that doesn't provide insurance.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're right. They all have some kind of form of insurance.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is like they're starting to come around. I'm like, okay, because that's how to get the cash flow to do their investments and real estate market. Yeah.
Yep. When I was getting my Series 65 license, that's what opened my eyes to a lot. And that's why I went and got my insurance license. So I could just learn and see how everything was set up and go to, because Berkshire Buffett, his team is only 20 people from him down. That's it, 20 people. They cleared $223 billion last year. 20 people from him all the way down. And 8 of those people are officers. So it's like 10 people that run this whole office. So, and to be able to meet those people and stuff like that, and to just be around them and absorb knowledge, and to sit and hear Warren Buffett talk for 8 hours, you know, and that was an experience I never forget, and but it was, and being there, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the documentary, but Bill Gates, he was there as well. Everybody else was there as well, but yeah. So, a lot of athletes was there, stuff like that. But yeah, there's something to think about as well, to look at it as far as your son as well, to look at investing for him in the future. Because think about it, those 529 plans, look at the expenses on them. I looked them up last night because I knew he was from California. So I was like, okay, well, he's from California. California, there's about 0.44, right? For the 0 to 4 age. But when I look at their performance, they're right on par, or they're a little bit below the S&P 500.
Yeah, so the fees aren't worth it. You're not, if you're not giving me that much more than that.
You're right below. But the only thing they have to hang over your head is tax benefits.
Yeah, like you said, there's ways to get around that. If I have different areas. Yeah.
Yeah, because, just because of the tax laws now, they're going to change. So who knows what they'll be in 18 to 20 years. And then when I look at what they're investing in, it's not really, it's like, it's going to be aggressive, and it's going to be like, what is it? Like, what is this? What is in the portfolio? I couldn't see that. So, that's the way I would look at it with your son, man. Give him some insurance early at a young age that's going to last him for his whole life. I'm not a big fan, even though term is very cheap, whole life. But, universal means you pick the payment. You say, hey, I got $200 a month. And they would take that $200 a month, and they would say, okay, with $200 a month, this will cover him for $800, $250,000 in death benefit. And with that, they'll draw it out on the chart. They'll say, due to historic returns, about 7%, this is what this child will have at this age and this age and this age and this age and stuff like that. So it could turn into an insurance policy, also an investment vehicle. And when I was interning, all the clients were millionaires. And I was fortunate enough that, they allowed me to sit in on the meetings. And when I sat in on the meetings, I saw what they was doing. So that's what and the number one thing that all those clients had the number one thing all the clients had in common, they all got an inheritance, and they all had good jobs. All of them, somebody in their family died, they got $100,000, $200,000, and they had a good job that they was able to put 401k and to put money back. That was the two common denominators between everybody. So I was like, man,
money reinvested. Yeah.
Yeah, and in our community, man, we just kind of like, I worked hard, you work hard. So, but yeah, I want to ramble on, but those are things those are the advice I would kind of give you to look forward to, man, to say, hey, with your son. And the next step I would look at when he got a little bit older, to look at his credit, to start to build credit for him, start to add his name to credit cards, to your credit card, and start to open up accounts in his name and add his name to your credit cards and stuff like that, so that you can build credit for him in the future. So now when he's 18 or 20, he got a credit report. He's not walking out there with no credit and starting from the bottom. He got a credit report. He's already covered on the life insurance side of the house, and he has a little money put to the side that's invested for him. And that's the way I would say to go forward.
Okay.
All right, Keith?
All right, man.
All right,
definitely. Information, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to help you out. Like down here in Hawaii, I do TV and I do radio, and now as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm getting ready to go take a shower, and I'm doing like a book signing and some counseling over at this event. So I'll probably be on YouTube Live later on. So I may do a little bit of live Facebook or something like that while I'm over at this event that I'm getting ready to head to. But but out here locally, I do a little iHeart and TV and YouTube podcasts, books, cartoons, all that goofy stuff. So. But yeah, I hopefully that was able to help you. I didn't mean to ramble on and stuff like that.
No, man, this is good information, man. I've been taking notes on my surface, man. I've been taking a lot of notes.
Definitely, man, definitely. And I got to get running. Anything you want to say to anybody out there? Or I don't know how long we've been on this line, but yeah, we've been on here for a while.
Yeah. No, man, I just want to tell you I appreciate all you do, man. It's like, it's helped me a lot. And like, especially you taking time out your day to day to help me and give me information. I feel more prepared to move forward. So I really appreciate that, man.
Oh, definitely, man. As I learn, I keep adding stuff out there, and thank you for the support, man. Thank you for tuning in and watching the Investor Show, downloading and subscribing. Those are the things that allow me to go to the different things and stuff like that, and learn and become a sponge and learn and put information out there.
Definitely, right? Man. I'm going to keep spreading the word, man. Appreciate you.
Definitely. Appreciate it. All right, guys, this is the Investor Show. This is your host, Prince Dykes. Until the next podcast, video, cartoon, or whatever you see me do goofy around the globe. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Simple Investor Radio Show with author and investment advisor, Prince Dykes.